Hey, so sorry for the 2 screen recording videos in a row. I promise this is not going to become a gaming channel. I actually have a machine learning video that's 2 months in the works now, but I don't like how long that one's taking to make, so this is just a casual video, no strings attached, and you could call it filler, but I think it's going to be pretty fun. Carrie, what's the wonderful music in the background of this video? It's at the link in the description, which will also take you to my speed cubing channel because I do solve Rubik's Cubes a lot. I had just remembered that in my final week of AP Computer Science in 11th grade, I programmed a Minecraft clone. But as I was trying to find that file, since it's hidden deep in my computer, I found this folder called 1997 to June 2014 homework. So this just has a lot of my homework assignments from middle and high school. Actually, maybe just high school. I think my middle school files are on some other computer. So let's just take a look. There's a bunch of doc files, which I think are pretty boring, but there's also a bunch of PNG files, which I think will be a little more interesting. Oh my god, I wrote this much on Native Son? This is my dumping ground for ideas that I didn't keep. But like I said, the PNGs are where the real gold is lying, so let's take a look from the bottom up. What the heck? Okay, I shouldn't show you this one because it has a list of real people's names, but I actually qualified to get into the USA Physics Olympiad in 2014. So the screenshot is just an arrow pointing to my name. The next file up is tavfile.wave, and it stands for Themes and Variations, because I was actually in AP Music Theory in 10th grade, and this is a 4-minute composition we had to make, but finally. Oh, it loops. I was gonna say it's finally over. It's so long. But I guess that was my first actual composition. Well, it actually comes after More Lasers, but it's a lot longer than More Lasers. Sunni Shiite.doc. Wow, I'm sure that will be totally YouTube friendly. Okay, so what is poop.png? Okay, this is not poop. This is stuff for my English honors class. And these were a bunch of authors that we had to remember. And this is like a cheat sheet. I remember Phyllis Wheatley. Let's read some of my poems. No, let's not. So I think there were some requirements for these poems, so it's not like I chose to write them so strangely just because I wanted to. Okay, I'm going to read them all, and if I find one that's especially cringy, I'm gonna cut it out of this video. Or maybe not, we'll see. The mirror. The mirror is a stone which is shiny. Everything near it is reflected. Your image or its image, who's to say? In wonder your heart sounds like a huge bass drum. That one is very strange. Like, I don't know why I brought up hearts at the end, but I think this poem has something to do with syllable counts, because why would I split up image like this? There's some gimmick going on here because it's just too stilted and too unnatural for that just to be the way I write. So if you guys figure it out, comment, okay? Meteor shower. Stop and hide from falling stars. Take some shelter underground. Realize dangers from afar. Make sure you are safe and sound. When you feel adventurous, you you most likely will get hit. You'll cry and die, and I'll say I told you so. Stop and hide from falling stars. So I think this whole poem is an iambic tetrameter. So there's 4 iambs in every line, except for this you'll cry and die. And I also broke the rhyming with the and I'll say I told you so. I want the 3rd line of this poem to be short. I want the oh, phone call? Hello? I don't need to lower my credit card insurance rate. If you're not recording, shut up! Oh, that was mean. I want the 3rd line of this poem to be short. I want the 3rd line of this poem to be really, really short. Yay. I want the 6th line of this poem to be long. I want the 6th line of this poem to be really, really long. Oh no. After experiencing such exuberant joy and tragic devastation, I don't know what I want anymore. This emotional roller coaster brings me both happiness and sorrow. Where will life take me tomorrow? Wow, if life were so simple now. Why are these poems all so bad? When one meets one, you usually get 2. But that is no fun. I say you get 3. I hear you whine, let's make it 9. So who gets to choose? Me, you lose. Okay, this one's too long, but I feel like it's kind of the same idea as this one, where I'm absolutely crying over something that is totally meaningless. Okay, there are 3 bad poems in a row that I really did not want to show you, but here's one that looks pretty nice. Hooray for spiders. Once a spider crawled into my nostril, and I despised it so much I screamed and screamed, and nearly fainted. The spider escaped and called its cousins and brothers, and soon a black ocean of spiders flowed over and engulfed me, swept through my world and my life, and I reached to kill them all. I thrashed and flailed and shrieked, but they did not stop attacking until I stood perfectly still and was food. There's gotta be like, the instructions must have said, write a poem, like an absurd poem, with an unusual syllable count for each line, because I'm splitting up so many of these lines at weird places. Well, I do notice that a lot of these lines end with a past tense verb, but that's definitely not it. Dream Island. 2 lone bare trees are leaning, falling, submitting to the power of the howling wind. A single dead leaf drifts as a reminder of what once was. The barren landscape sits motionless in the faint glow of the moon. That's not Dream Island at all. I don't know what I'm doing with these. Kittens. These creatures are pure evil, killing millions within their death chambers. Immune systems? More like mass murderers. Poor bacteria, only trying desperately to avoid certain death. When at last they find a home, the cruel kitten sends in its minions and annihilates them. How many of these are there? I was afraid of this. Once, I was afraid of mindlessly copying poems, modifying them only slightly and calling them my own. But now, all day long I do it with no regret, trying to match the model perfectly, so I don't have to do any writing myself. Perhaps I have lost the ability to stand on my own and will never get it back. Was the infinitesimal time saved worth the eternal loss of such a skill? No. Well, I was pretty dark, pretty pessimistic back then. Lines. Lines of a poem are slinkies, getting longer and longer and longer and longer, and then shorter again. But each twist leads to the next in a continuous flow, carrying the eye further along the path. Mesmerizing the mind, it's almost hypnotizing, until some dumb one decides to see how far it can stretch, and it snaps, and bad things happen. People will die. What the heck? I don't want to say like, ooh, 15-year-old Carrie was so edgy, because it was just death. I mean, no big deal. Everyone talks about death, but I just had this style that I just kept repeating. Like, I was so unoriginal. I would just like instantly go towards death and say like, look at this mundane thing. See how it's suddenly death? And it's not cool, okay? You gotta be a little more nuanced with it. Earth. We are the prisoners. We are in captivity of Earth. Hooray! Unable to escape, we appear like caged animals. Hooray! Trapped forever. Our only companions are ourselves. Hooray! The Earth is just a little blue dot. Your life is meaningless. Hooray! Neil Armstrong thought he could escape. Not for long. Hooray! Besides, there's nowhere to escape to. How foolish. Hooray! The only difference between us and the creatures in the animal shelter is that our cage is prettier. So let's give the animals a better cage. Hooray! Whoa, is this like an advertisement for PETA? I-ams cause dread and fright, a hindrance to the mind, but now I've grown to like, I use it every line. Well, the first line, I think the word I am actually breaks it, because it's supposed to be I-ams cause dread and fright, but that's not how you pronounce it. Epitaph. I don't know why I'm writing this today. I don't have any plans to pass away. I don't think I'll die and decay, because I must be immortal. I will live longer than everyone. I will outlive the earth and the sun. I will exist forever, which seems like fun. Uh-oh, dying. Too bad, I guess I'm mortal. I give that one a C. Maybe even a C-. Breakfast 2.0. It's to most, but a delight to me. I got the rhythm all wrong. Air, e, air, air, e, air, e, air, e, air, e. What a strange rhyming scheme. I stare at my precious pear, which looks as delicious as can be. Most would consider it a hideous sight to see, just because it's got a bit of mold and hair. But I like worms and maggots everywhere. I like mushrooms and ants and fleas. A disgust to most, but a delight to me. I want to eat, but the others are aware. Why do the others forbid me from glee? I don't see why they should care. Before disposal, one last chance to see. I stare at my precious pear, which looks as delicious as can be. A tiny poem. This poem is so small, in just one day it will be forgotten. I feel so much anger from it all. My mind feels like it's rotten. This poem will disappear into an endless sea of nonsense students call their work. Unfortunately, some nonsense is written by me, so now I'm going berserk. Well, past me. In even 5 years, it was not forgotten. Besides, now it's online and the internet never forgets. Noon. I sit in my apartment room, while fearing noon yet once again. I wait for overpowering doom, and dread the headaches and the pain. While 6 is bad, 11's worse, but noon's by far the worst of all. Where I live is no doubt a curse, right next to Big Ben's booming bell. That was pretty clever, actually. I was like, why is noon so bad? I was avoiding reading the last line until then, which takes a lot of willpower. But one criticism, all does not rhyme with bell. Ah! Another note, hairs, powder, feathers, tiny things. But if they all go in different directions, they must have minds of their own. That one's bad. Children's work. Antiques are hard to break, windows are hard to shatter, paint is hard to spill, and houses are hard to set ablaze. But whether by pure accident or plain stupidity, at last children of all ages will do their duty. Kids will set houses on fire out of stupidity. A boat. I made myself some lovely holes in my amazing wooden boat, so that delicious water flowed and filled my boat with happiness. But then the fools came up to me and plugged my holes up every one, and caused me great despondency, and said, "We fix your broken boat." My boat stood still, no longer mine. It was the fools who damaged it. They thought they knew me awfully wrong. It was their stupid ignorance. My mutilated boat was ruined. I sadly let them take my child, for there is more great H2O in swimming in the great blue sea. Sometimes I'm a little turned off by the strange rhyming scheme. It seems to break the flow. I mean, I knew how to rhyme. Trust me, when I was 15 years old, I wasn't so dumb that I couldn't rhyme words, so there must have been a reason. Again, I think it must have been the rubric. A brilliant finale. My parents told me, whatever it is you do, always end on a good note. Finish strong. Don't fall apart when you're almost there. Now that my poetry's coming to a close, their message in my mind grows and grows. What separates good poems from the bad? Why is this the most stress I've ever had? Is it imagery, meaning, structure, sound? Or must my poem shine all around? This poem's last, it has to be the best. But it's only turning out to be a mess. Nature and sunshine, or death and pain? Who knew poetry could drive me insane? Do poets enjoy this and actually think it's fun? What if I accidentally break the rhyme scheme? What about iambic? I forgot to write an iambic. Oh no, I skipped a line. Now what do I do? This line's too short. I broke it, I have to restart now. There's a lot of confusion, frustration, and anger. I need to take a step back and rethink things, because this isn't the way it's supposed to be. Am I done? I'm done with the document! Hooray. That was like 20 poems. I don't remember writing that many. I remember writing maybe 5, but this is way more. And I definitely don't remember most of these poems individually. But what's strange is there's a poems 2 doc. That's just 3 days later. This looks a little different because this actually has images in it. May 5, 2012. That was during the BFDI to BFDIA hiatus. These are all the same poems. I guess I just chose my favorite ones. I know PM because I already looked at it. PM.png is a project I had to do for math class where you have to create an imaginary menu for a restaurant that teaches some mathematical principle that you learned in that math class over the school year. By the way, it was AP Calculus BC. so that's cool. It's called Polar Pizzeria, and well, I'll just read what it says and you can figure out what concept I'm trying to teach. Polar Pizzeria, kids menu. Tired of ordering pizza in a boring, Cartesian grid-like format? Well, good news for you! Polar Pizzeria's exciting new system of polar ordering makes choosing your pizzas a thrilling experience. May 15, 2014. Fun fact, this beam of light is a fixed point known as the pole. R is the variable that determines the distance from the pole at any angle theta. So here's some jokes which are incredibly funny! What is the volume of a pizza with a radius of z and a depth of a? Pi zza. Now, I actually plagiarized that because I know I didn't come up with it myself. Why are all our restaurants in Eastern Europe? Because that's where all the poles are! Ha ha ha! That's one of the worst jokes I've ever heard. But also, if all of their restaurants are in Eastern Europe, then why is one of their menus in the United States? Puzzles. Maze. Help this pizza lover find his pizza. Here I go. Speedrunning. I did it. Answers on the back of placemat. If you're a brainiac, try these puzzles. Pizzas cost 2 cents per square centimeter. How much do these specialized pizzas cost? Oh, I see. Okay. So I was actually going pretty intensely with the math here. Because, like with the first equation, r equals 10 cosine theta plus 16. You have to use calculus and integrate over r to find out the area of that graph, and then multiply that by this 2 cents per square centimeter to find the total cost. So I can't quite remember, but I think cosine theta is going to give you this cardioid shape here, because when theta is 0, the answer is going to be 1, so it's going to be far from the origin, and then when theta is pi, on the other side, cosine is going to be -1. Oh yeah, -1, but then this thing's going to result in 6, so it's going to be a lot closer to the origin, so yeah, that's the answer. R equals 20 sine 3 theta, that's going to be this propeller shape windmill thing. Pretty cool. R equals 30 divided by 2 to the power of theta. What the heck? Who buys pizzas like this? But that just means that the bigger theta is, the closer it is to the origin. So I'm going to guess it's this spirally one. Oh, they're just going in order. Never mind. There's no puzzle aspect to this. R equals 7 cosine. Yeah, 7 or what? Oh, 8 theta. That already tells me there's going to be 8 branches to this thing. Bonus. R equals 8 sine 2 theta plus 20. And Polar Pizzeria is having a sale. Cheese, sausage, and pepperoni are 50% off. There's nothing math related about that, so that's a little weird. So here's the restaurant's special dish, the unit pizza. And every eighth of the pizza is a different type of topping, and you can see how I described those toppings here using intervals. But I think I did something wrong, because since these are all closed intervals, the points like pi over 4 are covered by 2 intervals at once, so they must have both pepper and cheese on them. How to polar order. Choose a topping by specifying the domain of the angle of our unit pizza, an interval of theta. So if you want mushroom pizza, say 3 pi over 4 comma pi. That! I mean, screw that. If you want both pepperoni and cheese, say the union of pi over 4 to pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2, 7 pi over 4. Choose how big you want your slices to be. The distance from the pole, that is r. A small pizza is about theta equals 12 centimeters, while a large is about theta equals 30 centimeters. That's a difference about 8 times. I guess that makes sense. Want more chicken pizza than sausage pizza? Easy. Just suggest a function that makes r bigger when theta is in the chicken zone. The chicken zone. 7 pi over 4 to 2 pi, like in the one below. That's not easy, okay? I'm pretty sure 99% of their customers would have trouble doing that on the fly when the waiter's there. So, bad job, Polar Pizzeria. But I think I did a pretty good job with this school project. Oh, you can also see in the background I have this like textured blue thing so that it doesn't look so dull. And I can see there's a cartoon pizza holding a human being. There's like 4 times more content, but I don't feel like editing anymore, so this is the end of the video. I feel like this is not a high quality video, so I'm not going to put it on Patreon, which is good because you patrons don't have to pay me, but it's also bad because that means I don't have to say your names in this video. So in the future of carykh, TWOW 23A might come next, or it might be that machine learning video. But if it's TWOW, it'll come by Friday. If it's the machine learning one, it might take another week. And also, I just wanted to mention that in my ramble 2 videos ago, I seemed very depressed, but I'm actually doing okay. And in addition, I want to take back the statement that I said that I have never interacted with cool people because of YouTube. The whole H-Twin Central Discord server, which there's a link to in the description, has been very, very cool, and we've done tons of cool stuff over the last year, actually. I think H-Twin Central's birthday is today, so I'm very thankful for that. And also, I get a lot of emails from people asking to work with me or asking for my help on their projects, or maybe like they can help me out. And I know it's a bad habit, but I don't respond to a lot of them just because I get a lot of them and I just get overwhelmed and I just close the email tab. So if I don't respond to your email, it's not because I have a personal grudge against you. It's just kind of my habit, which I gotta fix in the future. But this video is over. Oops, that sneak peek wasn't supposed to sneak through.